Hey everyone, this is a video on how to remove the all the instruments and the speedometer from the back of your cluster. And this is a brand new OEM cluster. I have taken it apart once because if you see in here, I've put my kit on to change it from the kilometers per hour to miles per hour, so you can see that there. But the process is the same that I'm going to do the first time you open it up. And if you look on the back, there are ways to open it up, which are these tabs here around the outside, but nobody likes to bust those tabs open, so we don't want to. If we can pull it out from behind, it's always better, okay? Because you can never get those tabs to go down quite like they did originally. So I've removed most all the screws around the outside here. I think there's 7 altogether. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 down here, and 2 on the sides. These are longer, so just in case you forget to check that, the 2 that hold the board down are longer. Okay, those are the only screws you need to take out to get the back out of here. And the one thing that'll happen, and this will happen when they're new, is there's a piece of, I guess it's some sort of a gasket or insulator in here. This insulator will be stuck to both sides, or one side or the other, or both sides, and you really need to get that free from the front and the back, especially the front part of it, because if it's stuck to the front part of it, it catches the gauges and just makes it kind of hard to get out because the gauges just barely slip out of there. But you can just take a screwdriver and you just kind of have to go around, and it usually sticks here at the screws. So you just have to work it around here all the way around, and you're trying to get that inside gasket there to be free. Do be a little bit gentle with it because it can actually kind of break. Not the biggest thing in the world because it'll just kind of go back in there when you put it back in. But just, again, if it's a new odometer or a new cluster, then it usually kind of pops loose pretty easy. Okay? So after that, just set it kind of straight up. It does come out with a little bit of, sometimes you got to try holding your tongue on the left side or the right side of your mouth. But if you bring it out, you want to bring the back end out first. And you'll see down in here, you just kind of got to work those two inside gauges around the middle here, and it will come out just like that. Okay, and there's that gasket I was speaking of. I've got it loose here now. And when you're putting it back in, it's really just the reverse. Okay, so after you've put your decal on and you have the conversion all done, if you just grab the whole thing in your hand like this, and you want to put the speedometer side first, and then again, when it's kind of hard to see, but this gauge here and this gauge here have a tendency to want to hook on this corner right here, so you just kind of have to kind of work them back and forth, and that'll drop right back down in there. Okay, and then just put all your screws back in and you're good to go. One thing to note is if you take this out even for just a second, all the dust in your room, for whatever reason, will be instantly attracted to it. I don't know why that is, but so you always want to just give it a quick double check and make sure there's no dust on there. Maybe have a little can of air so you can kind of squirt it out. Same thing with the glass down there. That glass just always just attracts everything. So give it a little squirt. Do your very, very best not to touch it, especially if it's a brand new one, because you'll get a smudge on there that you won't be able to, well, you can get it off, but then you got to deal with the smudge. So there you go. I'll set that back in there one more time. And again, you just kind of have to, actually, if you just kind of push on the gauges a little bit to the left and the right, that usually gets it. So then put all your screws in, and you are good to go. You'll now be able to track your speed in miles per hour the way that God intended. Thanks very much.